Hello and welcome back to my studio. Today I thought I'd play around with these round canvases. I bought them some time ago from Spotlight and they just look like a lot of fun to me, different format. So I'm going to lay down a background with some fluid paint and some balloon, what's known as balloon kiss. I'm doing more of a roll rather than a kiss. And I'll show you that. That'll come up as the video rolls. The other thing I wanted to do with the canvas today is use some of these pretty papers. And I've shown you back in installment 3 how to make a paper transfer using the packing tape. And it's a little bit of a different process to go onto canvas. So I thought I'd show you that today. So your canvas gets coated in, we might use these two, in Mod Podge. This is the Wonder glue here. It's a bit like PVA, a bit like glue. It's great for a gloss. You can get about 12 different types of Mod Podge for different uses. And this is a paper one, and it's often used in decoupage, I think. But it works well to do transfers. So you need a couple of coats of this onto your canvas surface. And on the paper you're going to use, so it's a lot like cream. It's quite gorgeous. So it's simply about getting a good coat on. Letting that dry, and then 2 or 3 coats is good. And then you end up with something that looks like this that I've prepared earlier. So it's got quite a tough surface on it now, a little bit glossy. And what we'll do is put that onto the canvas face down, and basically the Mod Podge on the top of your paper adheres to the Mod Podge on your canvas. And the same way with the packing tape transfer, rubbing the backing off, and you're getting the print stuck to the canvas. The only difference, I guess, between this and the packing tape is the packing tape goes on right side up, but the Mod Podge, because you need to stick the surfaces together, this works in a reverse. So be mindful of that when you're choosing your image, that it will be in a reverse on your canvas. Okay, so let's start painting. I'll jump back a little bit to actually prepping the background on the canvas, and then you'll see me put these transfers on. Hope you enjoy. How gorgeous does that opal, the luminescence of that, really lovely. So I've given this a coat of Mod Podge and it's dried, and I'm just going to put another coat on where the transfer will sit. So just checking the right way up. Okay, so that needs to dry before we do the next step. So let's give that a moment and I'll be back. Okay, so we're back with this transfer. And same way that we soaked the packing tape transfer, we need to soak this. Obviously I'm not going to put the canvas in water, so just sponging the surface down, trying to get that water to soak in. It's a great idea to have your canvas sealed where you're not working, either with Mod Podge or a binder medium like this, or the gloss varnish that you have seen me use before. Love this product. The gloss varnish generally is used as a finishing layer, but it can be used to help protect what's beneath. So you can work in and you won't lose what's under your gloss varnish. So you might be able to see the water is starting to penetrate the first few layers of the paper there. We'll see if we can start to, so same process. Being careful not to rub too firmly. It's very easy to, even though the Mod Podge has adhered, it's still very easy to lose your print. So the pressure I'm using, I'm just really letting my hand come to rest. I'm not pressing at all. It's really the weight of my hand, particularly as we get down to these thinner parts where most of the paper is gone. To remind you, that's what the paper looked like. So we're taking off this negative space mostly, so it'll be interesting just how much. It will be quite subtle. So I guess that's another thing to think about when you're choosing your print or paper. So something like this paper looks lovely. When you take the surface off, you'll have to be careful to keep this salmon colour in the background and not rub that off. It's really easy to lose that. So sometimes it's better to use a print that has something that's not so much on negative space. It's got plenty in there. And we'll see, this paper just might not have enough for this, and we might end up going with something like that. Okay, I'll continue to work on this. We'll speed it up a little bit because it's going to take a while. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, and there it is. So that's how much of the paper has left, and it's very, very subtle. It's just really the pink flower that's left, and I'm super happy with that. Now the paper feels a bit damp, so I'll wait for that to dry before I start painting, but let's get into putting a bit more paint on this girl.